Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Sandy Jones Show with me, Sandy Jones. It's great to be here. Um, what have we got today? We have a West London derby, the second closest team to the Mighty Blues, Brentford FC, the Bees, the red and white Bees. The match kicks off at 3 o'clock UK time, which is in 17 minutes, which means we've got just enough time to look at the team sheets, to make some predictions, to stress whether or not Robert Sanchez is in goal. We'll see. Um, Today we've got a lovely American style Dr. Pepper vanilla float, which we're going to dig into. That's very exciting. And it's cool. Two games thick and fast. We had a couple of weeks of international break, not a lot of club football action going on. So it's nice to be back with a couple of streams, kind of back to back. The last one was on Thursday, today's Sunday. What a time to be alive. So, first things first, going to set up the poll. Right. There we go. That is set up. Put that here. I'm going to turn this down a little bit. And then we're going to have a look at this team. So, lineups. Robert Sanchez is in goal. So painful. Robert Sanchez is in goal. Wesley Fofana's injured for the rest of the season. We've got Reece James, Adarabioyo, Tosin, Chalobah, and Gusto. Back four. So does that mean Gusto on the left? Reece James on the right? I don't know. We've got Caicedo Fernandez in midfield. We've got Dewsbury Hall doing a random start today. No Palmer, no Jackson. Sancho, Madueke, and Kunku up front. Ooh, I'm not so sure about this team, people. Levi Colwill on the bench, Cucurella on the bench, Nicholas Jackson on the bench, Cole Palmer on the bench, Pedro Neto on the bench. I don't know what the plan is here. I'm not sure I like this. I mean, it's got to be Nkunku up front, right? Which means that we're going to have just no target man. Either that or he plays Madueke up front and Nkunku on the right. Where does Dewsbury Hall play? Is he a 10? Is Fernandez going to play in the 10? Dewsbury Hall alongside Caicedo? I don't know what's going to happen here, man. I don't know about this lineup whatsoever. I'm actually a little bit concerned about this. But what can you do? The worst thing in this whole lineup is Robert Sanchez playing once again. Crazy. Badia Shields on the bench. Good to see him back. Tyreek George, Josh Achiampong. God. Okay. Brentford, Wissa, Mbuemo, Shada, Damsgaard, Norgard, Yarmoliuk, Potter, Vanderberg, Collins, Ayer, and Flecken are playing for Brentford. Wissa and Mbuemo, Damsgaard, good players. We need to be careful of them. Wow, man. I don't know what to say. I have no idea what's going to happen with this formation. I don't know what people think is going to happen. Why we're playing Nkunku up front, I'll never know. Jackson must have an injury or something. He must still have a knock. It's just madness not to play him or Palmer. And also not Pedro Neto up front, who did a pretty decent job, or at least a better job than anyone else, deputizing the number 9 position when Jackson was injured. So I don't know, man. I don't know what's going to happen here. I'm worried. We don't have a good head-to-head against Brentford. We won twice against them when they came up in 2019, which is 6 years ago now. Since then, we haven't won at their ground, and they've won 3 times at Stamford Bridge. So we struggle to play against these guys, but they're absolutely pants today. They're terrible. They've been really bad this season. So You'd like to think, I mean, they're 12th, 41 points. They're 9 points behind us. They've been really bad at home. So if there ever was a time for us to fix this curse, if you want to call it, I mean, look at this. They lost to Villa. They drew to Everton, all at home. Lost to Spurs. Lost to Liverpool. Drew with City. Lost to Arsenal. Drew with Brighton. Lost to Forest. Last time they won at home was the 7th of December, 4-2 win versus Newcastle. So, I mean, come on. We really need to win, but I'm not confident when I look at this team. I don't know what the plan is. I hope that there's some Maresca 3D chess happening here because that's certainly not the lineup I would have picked. Put it that way. I want to look at it again. This is crazy. So we're starting Christopher Nkunku up front, probably. Sancho, Madueke, Fernandez, Caicedo, Dewsbury Hall, midfielders. Does that mean Reece James is going to play in midfield and Caicedo is going to play right back? I just don't know. I have no idea how we're going to line up. It's mad. Chalobah, good. Great. Gusto James, good. Fernandez, of course, great. Caicedo, great. Madueke, nice to see him back in the team. Question marks start with Robert Sanchez, Kevin Dewsbury Hall, Christopher Nkunku. I don't know what those three players are doing starting this game. But hey, what do I know? We'll have a look. We'll have a look and see what happens. Other stuff that's going on today. We have these are the first games happening in the Premier League. We've got Brentford, Chelsea now at 3. We've got Fulham, Liverpool at 3. We've got Tottenham, Southampton also at 3. So those 3 games are happening at the same time. For us, it would be really helpful if Southampton and realistically probably Liverpool win their games in terms of our league position. And then we've got United versus City at 5:30. And for the first time in years, I think I'm supporting United in that one. In my childhood, to say that I was supporting Man U would have been unheard of unless very specific circumstances. But now they're languishing at the bottom of the table and they can nick a couple of points off City, who are around about us, to be honest, challenging for top 4. So, come on United, I guess, today. Cheers, by the way. No beer today. Dr. Pepper Vanilla. Never had this before. Cheers. That's pretty nice. I don't get a lot of the vanilla. Kind of just tastes like Dr. Pepper. Maybe in the aftertaste, a little bit. Anyway, what else is going on? In Germany, there's a crazy upset. Arminia Bielefeld from the 3rd division knocked out Bayer Leverkusen, having knocked out Werder Bremen, Union Berlin, and one other team to get to the final of the FA Cup in Germany. So Berlin is going to be taken over by this tiny club, this 3rd division team, in a few weeks' time, and they're playing Stuttgart in the final. Stuttgart's a really good team here in Germany, so that's going to be one to watch. And I think everyone who doesn't support Stuttgart is going to be 100% behind Arminia Bielefeld. We'll see what happens in the city on that day. Maybe we can even do, some fan interviews or something that day. When is that? Let's have a look. DFB Pokal. It is on Saturday, 24th of May. Oh, I'm away. Okay, so there won't be man on the street videos, but we will be there at heart at the Olympic Stadion, just like we were for England versus Spain. Sniff. Looks like the game's about to start here. We're getting close to kick off. It's a lovely, beautiful, blistering sunny day in West London, just like it is over here. That guy needs to accept it's time to shave his head. That is crazy. I just saw the wildest hairline you've ever seen, and I know what I'm talking about. Here's the table: 52 points. A win will take us 2 points behind Tottenham and sorry, Nottingham in third, Tottenham in third, as if. It'll move us 4 points clear from Man City, who play later, like I said. Um, Villa are hot on the tails. They won yesterday. Newcastle have 2 games now in hand at the end of this one. When are they playing? Brentford are kind of like they need this win too, to be fair. They need this win. They're kind of in the middle of the table. But if they get a couple of wins on the trot and a few results go their way, then they can push up. Let's see what it says here. Uh, what's his name? Maresca said it's just the game plan. That's why Palmer and Jackson are on the bench. The ones that are going to start, I think, are going to be the right ones. It's because of the schedule. Also that because we have players back from injury. So 2 games in 48 to 72 hours is not the best thing to do after a long time out, and we try to manage it a little bit. I feel you, man, my bald-headed, bearded brother, Enzo Maresca. I'm with you. I get it. You got to manage the squad. You got to manage the workload. But I just hope this works. Whatever the experiment is here with the lineup, I just hope this works. It's a weird one to me. I don't quite get it. I don't get this lineup. I don't know where we start. Um I don't know what the formation's going to be. It just doesn't make sense to me. It's a very weird team selection to start this game. A game at a ground that we really struggle in. Do you know what I mean? We really need to win this game. So anyway, what was I going to look at? Oh yeah, when are Newcastle playing next? Newcastle are playing tomorrow against Leicester, so they're going to win that one probably. Crystal Palace extra match on Wednesday 16th. We're coming into the run-in, guys. We're getting to the end of the season here. Every point counts. We're playing next Thursday as well, 6:45 in the Conference League. Um, I didn't even have that in my notes. I'm gonna write that one down. We do plan to go and at least, even if we can't get a ticket, hang out outside the stadium, maybe find a fan zone or something um, in Poland if we get to the final of the Conference League. Conference League. But we need to get through first. We need to get through Legia Warsaw on Thursday, the 10th of April this week. Then Sunday, the 13th, we will be back here on stream for Chelsea versus Ipswich at 3 p.m. on the Sunday. Then the following Thursday, we're back in the Conference League again, the return leg against Warsaw. Also, just updating these notes, man. These are all completely off. Teams are coming out Sunday, 20th of April. Why is everything one day off in my calculations? It's just mad. Have these things all changed? Saturday, 26th. That's not changed. 1:30. Sunday, 4th of May. That has changed. Sunday, 4th of May, 5:30 now. That's really annoying, man. Saturday, 10th of May, Newcastle. Yep, at 4. All these have changed, man. Changed times, changed days. Sunday, 18th of May, Chelsea United at 4. That's not changed. All these things have changed, man. That's crazy. Sunday, 25th, Nottingham versus Chelsea at 5 o'clock. So, yeah, madness, man. Madness. And then we've got the Club World Cup to look forward to. Um, Friday, 20th of June, Wednesday, 25th of June. Those are some pretty tasty fixtures. Flamengo, Esperance de Tunis. It's gonna be a lot going on there, man. Here are the teams again. So we got Brentford, Flecken, Vandenberg, Lewis Potter, Jorma Luik, Damsgaard, Mbueno, Wissa, Schade, Ayer, Collins, and Norgard. Players I'm worried about: Norgard, I think he's good. Ayer's a good defender. Um, don't know the other two lads. And then Mbuemo, Wissa, Schade. That's a good front three, man. That's a good front three. I'd be interested to see how Sky Sports suggests that we're going to line up, because we've got this kind of odd team selection. If they think it's going to be a 4-2-3-1 with Nkunku up front. So they're saying Nkunku up front, Madueke, Dewsbury Hall in the 10, Sancho on the left, Madueke on the right, Sanchez in goal, obviously. They're saying Reece James right back, Chalobah, Tosin, Gusto going from right to left, and then Caicedo, Fernandez in the pivot. But we'll see, because we need to wait until this game actually kicks off in the next couple of minutes to figure out what's actually going to happen with this team. Lots of English players today. There's a very English-heavy lineup. Sancho, Dewsbury Hall, Noni Madueke, Tosin, Chalobah, James. That's 6 English players in the starting 11. That's pretty cool. And you could also argue that Colwill and Palmer could be starting. George Achiampong is actually quite an England-heavy Chelsea at the moment, which is interesting. Hasn't always been the case, that's for sure. Some people were saying that we were going to get Thomas Frank, the Brentford coach, as our manager in the summer, and we ended up with Maresca. Jury's still out on Maresca, like, for example, today, is this the best way to manage the squad and to prepare for this game and to pick this team? I don't know. Time will tell. We will see. But let's just say any manager that keeps picking Sanchez is getting questioned by me, at least. I think that's bonkers. We've got Nkunku up front, man. He's got to be doing something different then in training, because when every single time he was up front, when Jackson was out, it was like we were playing with 10 men. It was like we were playing with 10 men. He was playing essentially as like a shadow number 10, always needing the ball to feet and doing absolutely nothing with it. Scoring no goals. Bro's just walking around with a balloon in his sock for no reason. Just madness. Just absolute madness. So here we go. Oh dear. Prediction. Match has just kicked off. If we can get into a flow and we can punish this weak Brentford side that's really struggled at home, I can see us winning this game. My prediction would be 3-1. But if we struggle because of the lineup, because of their physicality, because of the nerves, because of the past terrible games at this ground, I can imagine us losing this game 1 or 2-0, honestly, and not even scoring. This lineup does not reek goals to me. I hope I'm wrong. But we need someone else to step up. Palmer, Jackson, not in the team. Madueke is just coming back from injury. He's got a free kick here from Reece James. It's whipped in. Tossing at a chance there. Tossing at a chance, a very good chance to score. He just nicked the ball, which took it off of Nkunku at the back post. So between the two of them, one of them could have scored. It would have been 1-0, 1 minute in. Instead, it's a goal kick. So yeah, those are the two scenarios in my head. Let's be positive. Let's say it's going to be the 3-1 to us. Brentford going long with the goal kick. You don't see that very often, and they've not beaten the midfielders, although they're hoofing it forward again. Sanchez coming out, shaky clearance already. 1 minute in. Oh man, Robert Sanchez. Usually, you try and defend a bald-headed, bearded brother. He's an exception to the rule. I cannot defend him. I cannot defend this man. He's a useless goalkeeper. He's terrible. He showed it in the Spurs game. 1 in 3 or 4 saves is a worldie. He's brilliant at shot stopping occasionally, but the other 2 or 3, it's so shaky. He just lets balls in without having the stiff arm. He doesn't command his box. Oh, here we go. Oh my giddy aunt. Brentford with a really good chance. And Buemo, the cross comes in from the left, and Buemo heads it across goal. Wissa can't quite get on the end of it, and it goes into the side netting. But that's the dynamic, quick, forward-thinking, getting in behind West London Brentford style football that really has made us struggle over the last few visits to this ground, and also playing them at home. Sanchez has given the ball away completely to the midfielder. He's just passed it down the line and given it straight to the Brentford player. So that's 3 minutes in. We've had one shaky moment and a complete giveaway of possession from Robert Sanchez. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? I don't understand. I don't understand. Jorgensen is better than him. And Jorgensen is not a great goalkeeper, but he's a better option than what we've got in goal right now. Petrovic is also probably not the best goalkeeper in the world, but I'd take him over any of these two. He's part of our team. He's coming back in the summer, apparently, although I'm hearing rumours that we might be selling him. There's other clubs looking to buy him. If we sell Petrovic and start next season with these two guys, that is an absolute disgrace. Okay, so Nkunku manages to get past the defender here. He runs it into the byline, stops in the box. Slow ball here. Sancho looking for a pass. So it's Gusto on the right-hand side, Reece James on the left. Everyone got that wrong. Madueke right wing, which makes sense. Goal kick. Don't know how I feel about this. It's not very good. No, it's not very good. So I want to see what the midfield shape is. Yeah, I haven't even really noticed it. It's definitely Nkunku up front. Nkunku is 100% up front. Sancho on the left, Madueke on the right. I see Dewsbury Hall playing as... It's kind of like Enzo and Dewsbury Hall playing as both a sort of a... maybe an 8-10 kind of pivot. And then Caicedo's dropping deep. So we're almost trying to overload them at the front. Some kind of a high press. I have no idea, man. I don't get this team. I don't get this structure. You can only really play the team that you've got ahead of you, right? Each game is individual. I think you've got to start at least one of Jackson or Palmer in this game. I really hope we don't regret this lineup because it's weird. It's a weird lineup. Doesn't have the balance that we have available. It just doesn't. Nice little touch there from Dewsbury Hall. Damsgaard with the foul. Reece James at left back. Lovely ball. Out wide to Madueke from Reece James. We're just so slow. Every time we get into the final third, they just stop, think about it, pass, take a touch. We're just very slow in build up so far in this game. Got Chalaba on the right, Toss in on the left, and then Reece James on the left. I see Caicedo and Enzo both in the pivot for sure when we have the ball. Dewsbury Hall seems to be picking it up in the wide left area. You know what I mean? It's a bizarre. I just don't know what's going on, man. I'm a little bit lost for words on this lineup. I don't get it at all. Gusto here finding himself very far forward. Really need a win here, man. Gusto again with the ball on the right hand side. He's bumming forward. Inside to Enzo. Enzo to Caicedo. Caicedo sweeps it outright towards Madueke. Back to Enzo. Trying to find Madueke. He's going straight to the goalkeeper. 8 minutes in. Still none the wiser on what's happening in this game. Don't really get the formation. Don't really get the plan. Just enjoying my Dr. Pepper vanilla float. I just don't think I like that, man. It just tastes like slightly weaker Dr. Pepper with a very hint, like a very, very faint hint of vanilla aftertaste. But I was expecting a lot more from that, you know? Especially when you've had a Dr. Pepper float in America. You have this can and you're thinking, this is going to be good. And it's just not quite as good as you would have hoped. It's been a banging weekend, though. It's been a really, really fun weekend. Yesterday was an absolutely brilliant, brilliant show at the comedy club. Everything was just flying. You have these. I've had I would say like two or three not so good sets recently in the club, and it's really nice. It's like such a relief when you can pick it back up and have a good one. I had a slightly longer set than I had in the last ones as well, so I felt like I had a bit more wiggle room. Stuck to the time really well. Everything was flowing, and the crowd was just answering every punchline as with a nice big reaction. So it's really nice. Terrible ball there from Reece James for Nkunku, straight out for a goal kick. It's really nice when you get into this flow of your material, and it's a full house, sold out, hot crowd. That when they really start to like you, you know, I started well, and then it got, you know, into this sort of flow of punch, laugh, and the laughs are getting bigger and bigger each time. And it's just like a really nice feeling when you get into that flow state and you're not even thinking about what you're going to say next because you know the material. And I just got that on Saturday, so it was absolutely buzzing. Um, and it was so good. I stayed for the rest of the show, had a good time. And I was just thinking the West London Derby tomorrow would just cap off an excellent weekend a very good week in general. A brilliant win against Spurs on Thursday, plus a good first week doing some new work in the personal life. So everything is lined up for this to be a good day. Without the Russian oligarch, what exactly is Chelsea? It's a good question, George. It's a good question. It's a very good question. I guess Chelsea is the luckiest football club in history to have had such a brilliant owner. I don't think there's ever been a better owner in world football than Roman Abramovich. Say what you want about the way that his wealth was accrued. Everyone knew where his wealth came from when he bought the club, and no one really seemed to care. The only thing that causes people to care is when you have success. Especially in the UK, we absolutely love to bring people down who are doing well. So the minute it became trendy to impose, that he has to sell his club, everyone jumped on the bandwagon. It turns out that actually they're rethinking whether or not it was even a necessary decision. That's an interesting development that's happened recently. He wrote off all of the debt of the club. So he basically just gifted the club several £1 million. He set up a situation where the club has to be owned for at least 10 years by the next owner, and a complicated bidding process to make sure that it's uh, a group that's willing to spend money and invest in the team. I think that's gone decently well. I'm still, not fully clear on my judgment of the ownership structure and the plan. I don't quite get some of the things they're doing. But what is Chelsea without Roman? It's a for sure it's a different club, but you know good things can't last forever, and you have to just enjoy what you had whilst you had it. I don't think anyone's ever going to have an owner that just purely loves the team for the team's sake. Um, there isn't one out there that's like that. I can't think of a single one, especially in the Premiership. Imagine you compare Roman Abramovich to the Cronkies, if you compare him to the Glazers, if you compare him to Daniel Levy, if you compare him to any of these, billionaire owners, he's just head and shoulders above the rest. So, of course, I miss Abramovich, and just hopeful that what we are developing now with this new strategy of the longer contracts for young players is going to pay off. Because if not, it'll be a real shame. So we're a different club, that's for sure. Mr. George, who do you support, and what are your views on your club? Leo, Manchester Derby later indeed. Congratulations on the win against Celtic. That was absolute limbs in the away end. All my Rangers friends were absolutely buzzing about that. And then my word, yesterday, not good. Not good. How are you feeling about Ferguson? Who would you like to be the next manager? It's a crazy time at Ibrox these days. It's a crazy time at Ibrox. 14 and a half minutes, Brentford have a corner. I see the players crowding around Robert Sanchez, which fills me with dread. And Reece James and the Brentford player having a little cuddle on the back post, doing some football jiu-jitsu. Referee's got a very thin layer of hair on top these days. They properly went down there. Having fun though. Back post, there was a chance there for Brentford. Here's Sancho on the breakout. Oh, he's got the ball. Come on, Jadon, do something. I feel like Jadon Sancho's living the life of that meme where the dog's just, this guy's got a stick and he's poking the dog like, do something. It's like, come on, man, do something. Do something. Get it going. Manchester Derby is after this game, right? I think it's 5 o'clock. We might stay on stream. We'll see. We'll see. I might not be able to, but we'll see. I guess it'll depend a lot on this result. Let's be real. Kevin Dewsbury Hall with some decent pressing up the pitch so far. He's had, I guess, a little bit of a renaissance in the last few weeks, playing a little bit decently. But it's tough, man. It's tough. The new manager you really want, my opinion, Sean Dyche or Gerrard back. Interesting. Fair answer. However, he ran Chelsea just the way he did because of how his money was made, just like the Etihad bunch. People seem to spend without thinking if the funds were not really theirs. Yeah, I know, man. I get it. And I completely understand the fans that say Chelsea ruined football in 2003 when he came in. Like, don't get me wrong. I have empathy for that opinion. Don't get me wrong. I say at least, for lack of a better word, he wasn't literally a nation state. He was an individual actor that had accrued wealth from a nation state. But I think, the Etihad and the Saudi group that own Newcastle, I think, and PSG, who are owned, by a full country. I think that is the next step, right? I'm not saying that it was. I'm not saying that what happened in 2003 was perfectly cool. Everything's all right. I think there was some reservations when Abramovich came in to buy the club, but there wasn't, crazy protests about it. Everyone knew his background. Um, they introduced this financial fair play and everything during his tenure. Everything kind of changed, obviously, and in a way, I'd say that we are to some extent, or we have been over the last 2 or 3 years, paying the price. Like the other side of the loop. You have all the success, um, not just because of money being pumped in, although that's a huge factor. These big contracts, big players, big managers, and then when it kind of all blew up, you've got this 2 or 3 years of a loop back down where you're kind of fixing and dealing with the issues that created. These mad inflated contracts, things like selling Mason Mount. That was an absolutely brilliant sale at the perfect time. Lewis Hall, I don't know if that's a great sale because he's gone on to do really good things at Newcastle, but have this new approach of having to sell the academy players and so on. It's a new thing in football that we're all dealing with. Um, I think the world, Chelsea was probably like 2 or 3 years ahead of everyone in terms of big spending. Except, let's not pretend that like Man U weren't dropping 50 million on players in the late 90s. I remember when they bought Rio Ferdinand. They bought, who was it that they bought that was like 50 million, 60 million? They bought who was it? I think it was Veron. Juan Sebastian Veron was like 40 million pounds in 2002 or 1999. I can't remember. It was way early, and they were just throwing money down for players as well. It's not like Chelsea was the first team to do it. I think Chelsea was just one step ahead in terms of having this very rich beneficiary, and we just got really lucky that he actually seemed to really care about the club. You look at a team like Portsmouth, Hearts, um, uh, to a lesser extent, like Gretna up in Scotland. Like these clubs almost went into extinction because of bad ownership and bad bad actors, basically rich people who just bought the club and didn't have the club's best interests at heart. I think Portsmouth literally almost went out of business. Um, so we could have been really unlucky. We could have just got an absolute crazy like Romanov type guy who took over Hearts and almost bankrupted them. And we ended up getting this actually seemingly from what you hear as a fan, his personal the way he was as a person and that how much he actually cared about the club. Probably the best deal you could imagine if you're going to have a rich beneficiary to own the club. Um, yeah. So, what Newcastle would do if there was no FFP? Yeah, I mean, they would probably just buy the Real Madrid team. They would just take the whole team and just say, "Cool, Vinicius Junior, £500 million, earning £1 million a week." Like that would be the Chelsea 2003 of this era if it was possible. What FFP does is obviously good in some senses. I mean, you don't want this uncontrolled spending, but at the same time, it does. We've got this massive problem that it does encourage teams to sell their best talents, which is a shame. So you're essentially farming your best players, hoping that they're going to become the next best thing and that you can sell them for 30, 40, 50, 60, 80 million pounds. Rasmus Hoyland was how much did they spend on him? I mean, Man U are still spending hundreds of millions, and a lot of them are duds. So some of these players that are just getting bought and sold purely on potential, it's absolutely mad, and I think that FFP has something to do with that. Tottenham 1-0 Southampton. Gone. Okay, so Spurs are 1-0 up. Bet Rangers will turn up on Thursday. Oh yeah, who is it? Rangers are playing on Thursday. They're in Europe, right? United, Arsenal grew their club organically. Not a good comparison. I don't know about that, man. I don't think that United grew so much so organically. Like, yeah, they did ride this hype of the brand being such a thing with Beckham and all that stuff, but Arsenal as well. Arsenal's a different one because they got bought by an owner. Oh, here we are. No, they got bought by an owner and then they built a new stadium. So they had this really successful spell at Highbury. Then when they built the new stadium, they really had to tighten the purse strings and balance the books essentially. Um, but I think that Arsenal's like its own little case. And then now the fans, I think now can finally truly, if I was an Arsenal fan, I would be absolutely livid at the way that the club's being run now. It seems like it's being run for profit more than it is for trophies. They celebrate getting top four like it is a trophy. Arteta has been given free reign to do whatever he wants, to bring in whoever he wants, to control their budgets, and he's been there for 5.5 seasons. The only trophy he's won was with Unai Emery's squad in the second half of that season when he got sacked. Um, and yeah, it seems like now is the time to be investing in the team. They could have got Ivan Toney, they could have got Ollie Watkins, they could have got any number nine would have put them right up there this year with the chance to win the league. Um, and they just haven't done it for whatever reason. They just haven't done it. So that's mad. Um, so so just having a look here, like pre the Glazers, United had a public shareholder structure. Um, Rupert Murdoch basically had an attempt at buying the club, which didn't work in '98. JP McManus and John Magnier had 30% of the club. Um, and the Glazers really began buying shares in 2003 and gradually increased the stakes and so on. Um, so just having a little chat here with Mr. AI himself. Their money that Magnier and McManus pumped into the club pre Glazers, a lot of the fortunes came from horse racing and breeding. Um, John McNear is the mastermind behind Coldmore Stud, the world's most powerful thoroughbreeding operation. Uh, they had investment from the Sundance Kid, of currency and commodities trading, including incredibly sharp made early fortunes through betting on markets, especially in London, tax arbitrage, making complex, often off radar financial payments, and savvy investments and heavy diversity. They were part of the so called Irish elite of the Celtic Tiger era. Big money guys who stayed low key but had influence across finance and sport. They weren't flashy billionaires, they kept out of the spotlight. By the time they got involved with Manchester United in the late 90s, early 2000s, they were already billionaires, though a few fans probably realized how deep their pockets were. So, yeah, it's not the same. I'm not saying it's a one for one comparison, but uh, Chelsea were spending money in an era when there was money being spent. They just took it to the next level and did a lot of spending very quickly. I think that's the thing that's different. Yeah, of course. I said uh, when I mentioned that point first, it was Portsmouth and Rangers who I had in mind. Hearts. It's crazy that, oh God, here's Brentford. Oh my God, he's nearly scored. He's just tripped over the ball. How do you feel about that, Leo? Rangers. I think that's so silly that people, the rival fans say Sevco and all this stuff, that as if because you guys went financially bankrupt doesn't mean that the club continues on, like if the shoe was on the other foot and that kind of a thing happened to Celtic or one of the other Scottish teams, they would always call themselves Celtic. You you don't just lose your history and all of that stuff because the accountants didn't do their job properly. I don't even really remember what happened there. Was it just too many big contracts being given out to dud players? I honestly can't. I was actually in Scotland when Rangers went out when they went bust, and went down the leagues, but I don't really even remember like what the cause was there. It's absolutely mad. Um, and what happened at Gretna as well? Because they went up to the Premier League, this tiny team, and then they just disappeared. Um, what's your opinion on Chelsea losing their assets to Blueco in the name of balancing the books? What's the long-term effect on Chelsea as an institution? I personally think it's a bad idea. So my personal opinion on this is the rules seem silly to me. The rules themselves seem silly to me. I think it's silly that you are allowed to balance the books by selling assets that you already kind of control and just switching them from one company to the other. It's a little bit like you could argue that it's silly that an individual can set up a limited company and then pay themselves a very small salary, just the absolute minimum as a person from the entity, and then the rest of the money they take dividends at a much higher percentage. So those rules seem somewhat silly when you read them, but we don't make the rules. The rules are made by these bodies, and the UK's what do you call it? The Premier League seems to allow that. The European side, UEFA, doesn't. So we've got a situation where I think the accounts have been accepted, or at least they're likely to be accepted, including these sales, the women's team and the hotels, um, to balance the books in the UK. But Chelsea's looking at a massive fine, or some kind of a deal that needs to be made from UEFA because they don't have the same rules. So I think that it's just silly that that rule exists. But do I think it's silly that shrewd businessmen like Bluco, like Todd Bowley, like Egbali, and these guys have the know-how and wherewithal and the lawyers and the advisories and all this kind of stuff to use those rules to balance the books, at least in the UK, and then to risk whatever the deal is that needs to be negotiated in Europe, to stay in the competition, maybe pay a fine or whatever it is, promise to not do it again. I don't blame them for doing it. I think if anything we can be mad or be sort of questioning the rule themselves. I don't actually have a problem with them doing it if that's the rule that's in place. Do you know what I mean? Um, that means that CFC as a club has lost those assets forever, isn't it? Yeah, I guess the club itself does belong to Blueco though already. So Abramovich had to sell the club. The club no longer belongs to uh, Abramovich. He was the single owner of Chelsea Football Club and all of the assets. So all of that's been, oh bloody hell, it's all Brentford right now. All of those assets got, in no uncertain terms, stripped away from Abramovich, and he couldn't earn a penny on them. So he just wrote off the debt and said, you know what, I step out and you can do whatever you need to do. I'll write off the debt and then I'll just step to one side. So those assets were already under control of the consortium that took over the club. What I understand is they've literally just moved the ownership of that asset from one part of the consortium to the other. So the idea that we think that the Chelsea Football Club uh, assets and brand and all that belong to an entity as, what would you call it? Benevolent and happy and caring as Abramovich was, is a thing of the past. The only thing that we have that's interesting in terms of ownership is the Chelsea pitch owners. So that's something that's really important because it's up to the new ownership now to come up with a bid that's useful and future proof, that has the best interests of the fans and the club in mind in terms of a stadium move, or else it's going to get blocked by the people who actually own the pitch. They need to agree on I think it's 70% need to say yes to any of these proposals. We haven't had a single proposal yet. Or the ownership could technically move the club to a different stadium, but they can't call them Chelsea anymore. Has to be called something else. So I'd say that we're in a lucky position because we have that, because the club almost went into extinction in the 80s. That's something like my dad and older generations, I'm a little bit too young to have experienced all of that, but they sold the club for £1 and had a much smaller scale beneficiary in Matthew Harding to help save the stadium and all that stuff. And you look at some of the highlights from the 90s, the stadium's just a construction site. There's transit vans parked on the side of the pitch. It's a mess. And so the Chelsea pitch owners consortium, if you like to call it, this shareholder structure, protects the assets, protects the pitch, protects the fact that Chelsea Football Club can only play on this ground unless they agree to move. And I think that's really good, because if you have foreign investment from especially business-minded, astute people like Blueco and Todd Bowley and all this, that might or might not have the best interest of the club at heart, then you need to be able to protect yourself and say, look, we don't want you to move us to Milton Keynes or to move us to way out west, beyond Twickenham, or like proper out west where there might be more space and you could build a humongous 100,000 seater modern stadium with all the bells and whistles. You have to either redevelop Stamford Bridge, bring it up to 60,000, and then we play somewhere else for 3 or 4 years, which I don't think is probably the best solution, to be honest. Or we have to agree to buy, for example, Earl's Court. That's something that's being discussed as a potential. I think that's probably the best, to be honest. I've looked at all the options. That's probably the best of a bad bunch of options. Even though the owners have bought the Stoll mansions next to Stamford Bridge to help with the potential redevelopment of the ground, I think that they're limited in how much they can expand. They'd have to build down, and the whole time during the project, they would have to play football elsewhere. So where are we going to play? Twickenham, Wembley? Like, I think those are all not ideal options in terms of uh, fan experience, in terms of hopefully pushing for success across those years. I find it really hard to think that we would manage that. It was different for Spurs at Wembley because they're quite close, but Twickenham. I mean, it's a rugby stadium anyway. I don't even know if that's a possibility. Wembley's miles away. Wembley's just completely the other side of London. Earl's Court is an option in terms of being able to buy that location, develop it, and stay at Stamford Bridge in the meantime. Oh, chance for Brentford headed away. And it's literally one stop away on the district line. So all the people can still go to the same pubs. The people who live in the area or go to games regularly from in and around London don't have to change their routines. It still is in that kind of iconic area, historical area for the club. And a part of me, like the kind of what would you call it, the soppy romantic idea would be to keep Stamford Bridge as a stadium, have the women's team play there, for example, or you know, do other kinds of events there with it as it is. But I think that's probably a bit of wishful thinking. They'll very likely just sell it and then make flats like they did at Highbury. Uh, but I just think we're lagging behind in terms of having this 45,000 seater stadium when other teams, Everton now included. Oh, here we go. Oh, it's blocked. Look, 60,000 plus, and let's be real, we need more than 60,000. 60,000 would be the minimum next step. So it's up to the owners to come up with a bid that's going to convince the Chelsea pitch owners that it's worth moving from Stamford Bridge, and this kind of to conclude this sort of selling of the assets from one entity to the other that you control both of them anyway. I think it's a bit silly in terms of the rules, but it's not silly in terms of doing it because the rules allow it and it means that you can balance the books. So that was a bit of a thesis response on why, or my thoughts on that anyway. Um, Fulham 2-1. Liverpool getting beat. No way. No way. What else is happening? Wow. Liverpool are getting beat. Whoop, we lost. We lost out there. I've got to say, you're the most knowledgeable, articulate Chelsea content guy on YouTube. Guys like Kevin Lewis, Matisse, etc. are just there for the banter. Oh, thanks, mate. I really appreciate that. I do love a bit of banter too, but um, hey, you asked me some questions. I'm more than happy to give you my response. There's one guy who I really like listening to. His name's Charlie. His channel's called Blue Brother. He's really good. Just sort of no nonsense, down to earth, realistic, usually very impartial Chelsea insights. Um, who do you support, man? George, what's your team? Do you have any skin in the game, or are you just thinking out loud? Yeah, I mean it's my club, isn't it? It's like I've supported them forever. It was my dad's team. Um, I just want the best for the club. I care about them. I enjoy watching football a lot, and that's my team. Do you know what I mean? What can I say? Um, I'm concerned about how the next 10, 20 years looks. I think we had it too good to be true for too long under Roman. So I've thought about it a lot and weighed up the options in my mind about what to do. Um, who knows? Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? To be honest, who knows what's going to happen in this game? It's 40 minutes in, and it seems to be very back and forth. Brentford have had a lot of good chances, so I don't even know what's going to happen here. Um, but yeah, really appreciate the comment, man. If you want to have more chats and hear some more insights, you know what to do, mate. Um, We've also got Leo in here. Leo's a very level-headed Rangers supporter and also a Man U fan. So as much as I love the tribalism and the banter and having fun and all that, I do appreciate the insights from other fans, as long as they're level-headed and calm. Um, just enjoy it. Enjoy it. Oh dear, 4 minutes to go in this half. Oh, been a couple of like bad mistouches from the Brentford side that have pretty much cost them chances in this game. A couple of times I've looked up and they've been one on one and they've just fluffed it. Sancho. I heard someone say that he just does the river dance, which is true. He does this kind of stop start thing. I began watching the EPL in '94. I started supporting Arsenal in '95. All my family were Arsenal fans until Roman bought Chelsea. They all decanted Chelsea. I've hated CFC since then. You're good people, though. I appreciate that, man. That's crazy. Where are you from? Are you? Am I hensing? Am I sensing? Sorry, a little bit of American in there, North American, or is that completely off? Because I feel like that's pretty crazy that your family would just switch like that. Ah, you're Chinese, my friend. All right, I got that completely wrong. Um, yeah, your English is absolutely fantastic, by the way. Um, yeah, I find it crazy that they just switched. That's like, something I heard a lot that when Chelsea won, when Chelsea got bought by Abramovich, I think in the 2 or 3 years before that, actually sort of late '90s, early 2000s, Chelsea was already doing quite well. They had won a few cups. They'd attracted some pretty good players. They had a good, a manager, a good couple of managers, and were already on the up and up. I think they came second in the year before Abramovich joined, 2001, 2002. They came second in the league. And then when Abramovich joined, I heard about this, that there was this influx of people just switching allegiances and started to support Chelsea. And I just think that's mad, like that's crazy. I'm very lucky that my family team just happened to start getting good whilst I was sort of late, uh, uh, from when I was about 7 or 8, which is when you really start to kind of show proper interest in football, until I was, a teenager. And then when I was 15, we won the league for the first time in 50 years, like watching my old man literally crying for the first time, I think, ever. Um, and then just all of the success that followed. I just lucked into it. I just happened to be born into a Chelsea family. But it's crazy that a, a bunch of Arsenal fans in your life just changed allegiance. That's mad. So do you support Arsenal then now as well? How do you feel about the structure and the current plan? Arteta, the, the the players, like how do you feel about all that? I said I touched on it earlier, but I just think that Arsenal have just missed 2 or 3 opportunities in a row now to really go for it in the transfer market and just properly challenge. And I think it's a shame. I remember Arsenal. Arsenal was low key, like between Man U and Arsenal in the league at least. I didn't know which one I hated more. Do you know what I mean? It was the team I loved to hate. Jens Lehmann in goal. I hated that guy. I hated Henri and how arrogant he was. But the reason that you hate them as a kid is because they're so good. You have to give them the props. But that invincible season and just some of those battles back then, like Arsenal were just absolute bad men. They were scary. And now I just think every time I watch Arsenal in the transfer window, I think they're just not serious. They just cannot be considered serious. It's kind of mad. Like, why would you not just strengthen and buy, like seriously buy the spine that you need to challenge? I have the same gripe a little bit with our team, but we're in, I suppose, at least phase 2 or 3. Arteta's in, and phase 1 Maresca. Arteta's in phase 6, man. It's crazy. Score alert: 3-1 Fulham. Sorry, man. I live in China, but I'm South African. Been living in Shanghai for over 20 years. That's very interesting, man. I also had a very international upbringing, moving around a lot. We lived in Indonesia when I was a kid, and Malaysia. Um, so yeah, sounds like we've got a similar sort of moving around a lot situation. 3-1 Fulham. Man United 8-2 Arsenal. I remember that. I remember the memes. I would 8 to be an Arsenal fan and all that. Wenger standing on the dugout with his arms out, just like, where should I go? Where should I go? Who doesn't miss those days? Wenger unable to zip up his incredibly long jacket. That was peak peak Barclays, man. That was a good time. That was a good time to be a football fan. The cliche is like game's gone. Nowadays it's just pass, pass, pass. Pep's ruined football and all these memes. But honestly, back then I think it was a bit more fun. I think football was generally a bit more fun back then. Oh, oh man, toss in. Could have been a goal. Could have been a goal. I think it was less technical, less formation based and all that, but it was more fun, man. I fell out of love with football from I think about 2016, a little bit for like a few years. I just started watching it less. Like 2019, 2020, picked it back up, and then obviously we won the Champions League unexpectedly. That really sucked me back in. And then this whole ownership switch happened, which really properly brought me back in. But I think I just got kind of bored of it in terms of the way that the games became less about uh, playing good football and more about this kind of you know systems based. But you've got to evolve with things and you've got to move forward. Um, I never stopped going. I never stopped properly watching, but um, I'd say in terms of the waves of how into it I was, that was a bit of a dip, and more recently just gone straight back up because I'm just interested and excited to see how the next 5, 10, 15 years pans out for the Blues. Anyway, I just don't understand how anyone could switch allegiance between clubs. It's impossible for me. I don't get it. Anyway, to be honest, I don't think Arteta is the guy. Yeah, fair play, man. I don't understand that either, especially from Prem team to Prem team, or like two teams in one league. Like I know someone who's like, yeah, I like Liverpool and Reading, and I actually know I've got an uncle who um, in the 70s he supported Leeds United because they were the top team. In the 90s he supported Southampton hardcore, going to games properly into it, and now he's 100% a Man U fan, Manchester United, for the last like 10, 15 years. So this guy's had three different full-on top division English football teams that he says I'm a fan of that team. I think that's mad. I don't know how you can do that. I think it's one thing to say I've got a team in the Premiership, I've got a team in Scotland, I've got a team in Spain. Like fine, that's okay. I've got a team in Germany. I could even understand if you're saying like I have a non-league team that I like. I used to live in South London. I used to go watch Dulwich Hamlet. It's such a fun day out. It's a good club. It's fun. It's cheap. It's a decent level of football. So would I call myself a Dulwich Hamlet fan? Yes, I used to go regularly to the games, but they're never going to be, on they're like the eighth tier of English football. They're miles away from the Premiership, and if they played Chelsea in the Premiership in a situation, I just can't imagine that happening. I would support Chelsea, man. That's my team. That's my team. There is no back and forth on that. Do you know what I mean? It's your team or it's not. The only thing that I can imagine is if you switched allegiance or disowned your club because they did something outrageous like join the Super League, which they almost did. That's the kind of level of thing where you think, okay, maybe I can't support this club anymore. Or if, like the Cardiff owner that changed their home kit to red, which is just absolutely bonkers. stuff like that. But oh, the Blue Co just said next week we're going to change the colors to red to appeal to the, you know, Chinese market. That would just be absolutely bonkers. You'd just be protesting it and everything. But even then, it's still your club. Like, I don't know. I don't get the switching allegiance thing. I remember that at school as well. People who would just support the next big thing. I just was never like that. I was just quite happy to be the Chelsea fan. Sometimes it's going well, sometimes it's not. A lot of people don't like Chelsea, especially the neutrals. It's just not a fan that a club that has a lot of neutral fans. I think you either love them or you hate them, and that's it. That's the club. Do you know what I mean? Um, don't think I've met many people who there was like I'm trying to think of like adults who I know that have just completely switched, except for that one uncle I have who has three different teams in England, which is crazy. Um, I think that's pretty much it. It's surely a rarity. I think a lot of people suddenly started supporting Man City, obviously, because they suddenly, out of nowhere, had all this success. But I wonder if they were actually just people who didn't have a team that then started supporting the successful team, or did literally some sort of Chelsea fans, Man U fans, Arsenal fans, Liverpool fans suddenly start supporting Man City. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. I think that's mad. I can't wrap my head around that. I just can't. I can't imagine having been a member and a match going fan for many years and traveling and spending all that money and still getting to a game when I can from afar and doing all of these streams now and stuff. Imagine I just suddenly came out and I was like, yeah, I support X other club in the Premier League now. It's just what? How I just don't understand how some people can do that. That's just not how it works. It's just not how it works. Can you understand it a little bit with the Man U fans that started supporting the Phoenix club, the FC United of Manchester? For sure, I can understand that. Um, MK Dons fans, I mean, sorry, Wimbledon fans who didn't want to support MK Dons, the vast majority of them said, "F you," started their own club, and now they're arguably better and way better supported and way more loved by fans and neutrals. Yeah, I get that, but to fully switch from just one Premier League team to the other is crazy. It's really crazy. So it is 3-1 to Fulham. That is crazy. And Liverpool scored first. Wow. What does this mean for the table? So this means Arsenal drew yesterday as well, which is another reason we have to win today to capitalize on that drop points. This would put Liverpool on 73 points, with Arsenal on 62, Forest on 57, and us on 53. So I don't know. I don't know because kind of, and then Fulham would be up to 48, and we're on 53. In a way, we kind of want Liverpool to win this game because we want them to take some points off Fulham, and I think they're going to run away with the league anyway. They're 11 points clear, even with this drop. So it doesn't affect me if they're 14 points clear. Do you know what I mean? Damn, kind of want Fulham to not win that game. Spurs 2-0 up. Um, yeah, it's been an enjoyable game. It's been really good so far. Gonna do a toilet break. Gonna leave you in the very capable hands of my young feline assistant for a couple minutes. Enjoy. We are back. We are back. So, people, we have had a very good discussion today so far, which has meant that we're not struggling too much with the 0-0 current. Oops, I've got the hiccups. With the 0-0 currently versus Brentford. It's actually been nice to talk and not worry about this match, but we need something in this second half, man. I think it's no surprise that we're flat. The lineup required us to be flat, and Kunku's on a 4. Reece James has been the most exciting player. Sancho, Madueke really not doing much. Oh my god, this hiccups need to stop. Okay. Jackson Palmer need to come on. Jackson Palmer sounds like a journalist. Jackson Palmer on the case. Need Jackson Palmer to change this game, because as it stands, it's flat, man. It's just flat. It's just flat. Like, what do we do? The bench is really strong today, you know. Cucurella, Jackson, Palmer. There you go. That's a good triple sub. What about Palmer, Neto, Jackson? Keep Cucurella on the side. Whatever it is, we really need to freshen this up, man. This has been, let's be real, it's been a dead half. And if anything, Brentford probably should be winning. Let's have a look at the stats. We've had a bit more possession, 1 shot on target each. 6 shots Brentford, 4 for us. 2 blocks them, 1 block us. Hello, what's up? 12 clearances by us. That's not good. What's up, man? You want to come and say hi to the people? Come here. Come here. Come here. Hello. Hello. You're just going to meow loudly. Is that the plan? Come chill. Watch the second half. All right. You do you, man. We had more passes, more pass accuracy in the opponent's half. Less crosses, but more cross accuracy. I mean, it looks like a pretty even match, to be fair, but we need to win this game, man. Arsenal dropped points. Villa won yesterday. We need. Don't know why I've got that song in my head. Literally going crazy here. Come on now. Brentford with a chance from the byline. It's cleared. 45 minutes, 40 seconds gone. Foul. That would have been a very nice way to start the game in the second half. So my idea was either it's going to be 3-1 to us or it's going to be 2-0 to Brentford. And right now it's looking more like the 2-0. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. What do you think has happened to Cole Palmer? He's been so average recently. Yeah, I think he had a bad run of like 5 or 6 games. Just legitimately just didn't play that well. I think he set the bar so high that when he had a few games in a row where he was not as good, he you really see it. But I also he did have a knock. He was injured for a bit, and since then he's only played the game against Spurs. So I think it's too early to say what his current trajectory will look like. But yeah, you've got to say his form has not been good. Hello, are you gonna sit? Are you gonna come and chill? Hmm? All right. This guy's been a good luck charm recently. We scored against Spurs when he came up and sat here, so we will see if you bring the good luck today. Okay, I see Jackson on the pitch. That's exciting. Um, so yeah, I think he's the sub. Jackson for Nkunku, straight swap. I mean, it's mad that we played a half with Nkunku up front. I just don't understand why you would think that's going to work. Crazy. Really crazy. It's not like we haven't got 4 or 5 recent matches in the last 2 months to look at where we've just seen that he's not a number 9 and he can't play that position. Whipped in by Brentford. Oh, that's it. Jackson just holding the ball off, initiating a play. Okay, Madueke gave the ball away there, but none of that happens without Jackson. Here comes Brentford though. Gusto is now right back. Oh no, he was right back in the first half. My bad. So Enzo looks forward. He sees Jackson making the run. Jackson's in. Can he finish? Oh, 48 minutes, 48 seconds gone. That's the first proper run in behind. Lovely ball from deep from Enzo because Jackson's just making that run. And Nkunku never makes that run. We don't have any other player that makes that run. So I don't understand why you would think playing a half with Nkunku is a good idea, even to rest Jackson. Put someone else up front. Put Neto up front. Put Tyreek George up front. Put Jorgensen up front. But just not Nkunku. He's rubbish up front. He's just not a. He's a number 10. We know that. This would have been a chance to play him at 10. Why not do that? Absolutely bonkers. So here we are, back to square one. 49 minutes, 40 seconds gone. And that was a very good opportunity created in part by Jackson, but also Enzo Fernandez. Well read there by Reece James. He's put in Madueke, who's got a heavy touch again. It's twice he's given the ball away in the last couple of minutes. 50 minutes, 20 seconds gone. Goal kick. Oh, oh, your claws, man. Yikes. Those things are long. You need to get those clipped. What's your plan for Raheem Sterling? We'd be glad if Chelsea would recall. I don't understand why Arsenal took that deal. Sterling is done. That guy needs to retire or move to Canada or something, play football there. He's just not good anymore. He's past it. He's on astronomical wages. He's a liability. He's selfish. He's useless. And the fact that Arsenal accepted that deal, even though we're paying half the wages, shows me that Arsenal are not serious. Because how can you accept that absolute useless waste of space as one of your signings to try and challenge in the second half of the season? It's just crazy to me. What has he done at Arsenal? Absolutely nothing. I think that the terms of the deal, he probably will end up coming back, but we're surely going to sell him somewhere, even if it means making a significant loss. You just can't keep that guy on the books. And if you do, I mean, Saudi's an option. I don't know. If you do, you're just eating that 300 grand a week that are his wages. Um, it's just absolutely crazy. He's so bad. So bad. Please keep him. Please keep him. Corner taken. Back in by Caicedo. Blocked. Tossins there. It's Jackson now. Reece James with a shot. Blocked. Oh, it's very stop and start right now. Dewsbury Hall. Gusto. Gusto's bumming forward. He's sort of the false back position. Nice ball, Madueke. Cross it in. Oh, defended another corner. Decent little spell now. Last couple minutes have been a lot more encouraging. $54 gone, people. What's your opinion on Kai overall as a player? Um, I will say on Havertz that he, I was so you have to give it to him that he scored the winner in the Champions League final. It's like amazing, great. We needed someone to step up in that moment, and he did. But apart from that, the general feeling I had when Kai Havertz was our number 9 was frustration, man. Frustration. He's not a very good out and out number 9, and that's where he seems to play the most. So if you're trying to win the league, where you not a cup competition, but the league where you need to be the best team after 38 matches, and your number 1 option up front is Kai Havertz or makeshift Mikel Merino, I just think that says to me that the club isn't serious, and I also think that Arsenal seriously overpaid for him, just like Man U overpaid for Mount, but that's way worse because he's barely played. Havertz has scored a couple goals, but I really just think that was a mistake of a signing. I think for Arsenal, they should have taken that money and bought an Ivan Toney or an Osimhen or Ollie Watkins, or honestly anyone that's an out and out nine. Because people who like Kai Havertz always defend him by saying, "Yeah, but he's not an out and out nine. He's a false nine. He's not a false nine. He's a inverted inside false 10 come, it's there's all these different things that you can label him as, but ultimately he's not that killer out and out goal scorer. When he first joined, I had a feeling, because he's very silky on the ball, he's very techie on the ball, and he's got a good touch, but he just runs into a little bit like Sterling. He runs down alleys where he's never going to come out the other end, and then he just loses the ball and then just looks disappointed. And that seems to be like his thing. Um, yeah, once in a while he'll score a absolute ping or get on the end of a tap in. But yeah, I was very happy when we sold him for all that money, and I just think Arsenal need to upgrade on that, man. You need to upgrade on Havertz if you want to win the league. I thought he was going to be like a Berbatov, that sort of unbelievably skillful player that's just going to bag you so many goals because he's playing the game in his own matrix. That's what I thought he was when he first joined. And year on year, he was so disappointing for months on end. I can't fully hate him because he did win us the Champions League with that goal, so you've got to give up to him for that. But apart from that, I didn't have a lot of love for him throughout his tenure, to be honest. Um, his signing when Arsenal really needed to beef up the squad to win made me lose all confidence on Mikel Arteta. Well, there you go. You're a level-headed, in my opinion, Arsenal fan. Here comes Pedro Neto and Cole Palmer. Come on now, this is better. Madueke is coming off probably Sancho as well. Dewsbury Hall. Dewsbury Hall. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a crazy signing for that amount of money. £65 million for a striker that's going to give you 10 goals a season and get a couple of assists and not really contribute much more. Because it's not like he's running in behind and causing problems and stuff. He's not. He's a ball to feet, techie, silky smooth kind of footballer, and that's just not what Arsenal needed. I think if Arsenal had bought Osimhen or Tony or Shesko or Gyökeres, or the list goes on, anyone who's an out and out striker would have been a better choice than Havertz. And it's like, okay, yeah, he scored against Chelsea in the 5-0. He celebrated, very good, hands up to him. But Sanchez just giving the ball away again. This guy is just absolutely useless. Oh, Caicedo, you're so good. So good. So yeah, we've got a different dynamic now. Cole Palmer in the 10. Pedro Neto probably on the right, I would imagine. Maybe Madueke on the left. Maybe it's the other way around. Yeah, Neto on the right. I kind of see Madueke. Where is he now? He's on the left. Yeah, he's hugging the touchline. No, he's not. Wait a second. I'm confused. Okay. So maybe Madueke came off for Palmer. Okay. Here's Palmer in the midfield, in the 10, looking for a pass. Finds Jackson, offloads to Neto. It's a beautiful shot on target from Pedro Neto, forcing the save 60 minutes in. And just in that last 30 seconds, we look so much quicker, so much more dynamic. Really good, really good first, moments in this game from Neto and Palmer there. You love to see it. Oh dear. Need to win this game, man. Come on. Cat's on the lap, man. The Lucky Charm cat is on the lap. Okay. Wild shot with his left foot from Gusto. Gusto's been a little bit disappointing this season, if I'm being honest. Last year, he was one of the saving graces in the very odd Pochettino year. Gusto was just unbelievable. And this year, his performances have just not been all that. Not been all that. He's done well to hold the ball off there, though, to be fair. So 28 minutes, people, to try and win this game. It's getting quite late in the show. Beautifully carried forward by Caicedo. Finds Sancho on the... Oh no, it was Neto on the right-hand side. He took a shot, saved again. Yeah, Sancho's on this side. This is much more of what you would expect in terms of a lineup. And it's taken until 60 minutes to see it, although that's earlier than he has been making subs, so you got to be happy about that. Nice little interplay here in the box. Jackson was there on the front post, couldn't quite get to it. Ayer clears it, and it's another corner. Look what difference this has made. These subs, it's crazy. Having Jackson up front from the halftime, and then Palmer and Neto just completely have changed the game. Lofted in. Oh, headed towards goal. Reece James. And he's flicked it back across. The keeper's got it though. Kicks it forward. Oh dear. And Buemo foot race with Sanchez. Sanchez gets there first. Here comes Palmer on the left hand side. Palmer to Neto. Neto has a go. Gives it to Sancho out wide on the left. Sancho inside to Palmer, who's in the box. Leaves it to Palmer. Oh, it's gone wide. It's gone wide. 63 and a half minutes gone. You're mistaken, bro. Mikel signed him for the left 8 position. He utterly flopped there. That's why he was moved into the centre forward position. He was signed to replace Granit Xhaka. What a manager. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. I don't know the ins and outs of Arsenal's side of things as much as I have my opinions on Chelsea, but yeah, crazy. He's one of those players where you just think, what is he? What is that player? Is he a forward? Is he a number 8? Is he a... I went to a game in Berlin. It was Germany versus Turkey about a year or two ago. Great match. Turkey won. And the manager played Kai Havertz at left back. It's like, if you can be played at left back, left 8, 10, 9, wing, if you can play in all of those positions, then you're really playing in none of those positions. Do you know what I mean? I feel a little bit like about him as I feel about Nkunku, but I think Havertz is even worse because I think he's got more potential and he's better than Nkunku. But I just don't understand what Havertz is as a footballer. He's a complete luxury player, you know. He's just not the guy that you want to count on, except for that one time in the Champions League final, which you got to give it to him. Got to give it to him. 25 minutes to go, people. 65 minutes gone. 20 seconds on the clock. Brentford have a goal kick. Really hope we can win this game. Couple of subs coming on for Brentford. Sorry, my friend, I need to take a sip of this average drink. You know when you're not enjoying a drink that you're having, soft drink, and then you're just drinking it anyway out of spite just to finish it. He's the highest earner at Arsenal. I know. Did you know? I can't even believe this is true, but Arteta is the third or the fourth highest paid manager in world football. His new contract that he got last season is absolutely out of this world lucrative. He's got full control over players in and out. Although not now, as far as I understand, they've brought someone in who's gonna have a bit more say in the transfers and so on. But for five and a half years, he's had free reign to do whatever he wants, having never really managed before, never really been a he's absolutely unproven, and I don't understand why he got so much trust from the Arsenal board um, for this long without producing any. Oh, here we go. Ball up towards Gusto. Oh, that was a nice little idea, though. Here come Brentford. They've lost it. Yeah, I think that's crazy. Highest earner. That would drive me mad. Even the 100 grand a week that you guys are paying for Sterling is a travesty. If I'm an Arsenal fan, I'm like, what are we doing? Why are we doing that? I think his kid plays for the academy, so there's maybe something there that they kind of wanted, the family to be together. I don't know. I don't know. There must be something else going on because they certainly didn't buy him because he's clinical, because he's going to actually help you challenge. Crossed in, keeper saves. 67 minutes, 45 seconds gone. That's crazy. I think he was the highest earner in our team as well. 280 grand sterling. Unbelievable. There was just a couple of older contracts like that that needed to be moved on. And it's interesting because Sterling was actually one of the first Bowley signings before the full kind of consortium took control of things. And now we're just splashing 50, 60, 70 million on kids who barely kick the ball. I'm very excited about Estevao Willian. That's I'm genuinely super excited about that. In the summer, we'll see how that goes. Apparently, he's still playing. They've made a deal that he can play for. Oh God, Palmeiras during the Club World Cup. So, if for whatever reason we get put up against Palmeiras, he can play for them against us, which is crazy. Um, but I'm very excited about him. That's going to be cool. Let's see if he can do it in the Prem. We've got Andre Santos, who's flying at Strasbourg right now. Hopefully Petrovic as well. They've got a half decent striker as well. I can't remember his name. Uh, Quenda coming at the end of the following season. Esugo also coming from Lisbon. Like, oh God. Brentford. Oh, wow. Should have scored, really. Crossed in. It was Wissa going in for the diving header. He's missed it. Are we going to win, my friend? Are we going to win? 20 minutes to go. 20 minutes to go. I saw a graphic that said Arsenal have, it was something crazy like 29 match jackets on sale at the club shop. All these different color combinations like pink, blue, orange. There's 29 of them, all official jackets, match sort of anthem jackets for this season. You can understand there being like two or three or four or five or six, but it was some crazy number like 29. And I think that's kind of part of the thing is that Arsenal, a little bit like Tottenham to some extent, have this brand of being this club that's an institution and a place that you go and you can, buy the merchandise and have a great day out at this brand new stadium and all this stuff. But it doesn't translate to winning, winning competitions. And when push comes to shove, those players, doesn't matter how many jackets they're wearing, they need to perform and win. Palmer, have a go. Oh, it's blocked. Chance here. Caicedo, Neto, blocked. Jackson, blocked. Oh, man. Good pressure here. Good pressure. Keeper gathers it. Ah, come on. Brentford on the counter. Oh, no. Sanchez has flapped at it. And it's stopped anyway. This has 1-0 written all over it now. One of the teams is going to win this game. I don't think it's going to be 0-0. I think one team's going to get a 1-0 and it's going to be heartbreaking for the other team. I think that's inevitable. Long ball up towards Jackson. Oh, it's very well defended by the goalkeeper there. Couldn't use his hands. He's headed it down. That was a lovely ball from, I think it was Palmer up to Jackson. Reece James wins it back. Lovely interplay. Sancho, Caicedo, Palmer's here on the left. Loads of space. He's in the box. Crosses it in. It's blocked. Sancho gets it back. Ah, he's lost the ball. Sancho, man. Honestly. Dude. So frustrating to watch. You just know he's so much better than this. Enzo. Here's Enzo. Have a go from distance. Takes the shot. It's wide. It's really wild. That was a chance, man. He knows it. He knows it. He just stood off him there. He had a free hit and he skies it. Get that end target, man. Cucurella's getting ready to come on. Probably for Gusto, I would imagine. And then get Cucurella inverting for this last 15 minutes. A little bit all out attack. A draw is not the biggest disaster in the world. It's not. It's really not great. But a loss is unforgivable. We need to win. Let's be real. We need to win. Enzo, back post. It's too close to the keeper, man. It's not good. High press here. Their keeper clears it. 75 minutes and a half gone. We're a little bit sixes and sevens here at the back, though. Brentford are coming. It's a chance. Wissa, Blocked. Handball? Yeah. Whoa. Whistle with a bad touch. Took him out wide. That could have been a lot better for Brentford. 76 minutes gone. Here comes Cuckoo. Oh, it's Reece James coming off. Enzo gets the captain's band. Cucurella coming on. Reece James has been great. Really good. That's just good play, that is, from Jackson. He's done really well there to turn the defender from a long ball, gets it through, wins a foul, yellow card, and we're completely back into an attack now. Oh man. God. Really, really hope we win this game. What is it with Brentford, man? They've not even been good this year. Shoot, Neto. Oh, blocked. First involvement, Cucurella. Ow. Oof. It's got a scratch on my finger. Come on now. 13 minutes. 13 minutes. Palmer picks it up in the 10. Enzo. Oh, he's been headed out. It's a corner. Corner. Corner, 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 corner. It was Gusto that time with a really nice run on the overlap and a lovely ball whipped in. Pedro Neto's taking this. Fifth corner of the game for us. 11 and a half minutes. Headed away. Oh. Here come Brentford. 3-on-2. Wissa. Back to Mbuemo. And it's a save from Sanchez. The one spectacular save of the match from Robert Sanchez has been made. Oh, my finger's bleeding from that. Oh my gosh. Brentford should have scored. It's a cross in from the corner. 1-2, and then a lovely whipped in ball. He's just completely mistimed his header. He's headed it straight into the ground and it's bounced over the goal. That should have been 1-0 Brentford. Game over. He's just completely fluffed it. It's the only reason we haven't conceded a goal there. That is a lucky, lucky, lucky break. Oh, it's all Brentford right now. Wissa. Oh my gosh. Long ball forward with a head down. Flicked into Wissa. He gets fingertips or like the end of his head on it. And it's just wide. I think Sanchez might have saved it. But if that was on target, very high chance of that going in. 9 minutes to go. Last 5 minutes have been an absolute nightmare. Long ball kicked forward from Robert Sanchez. These are the games that you need to win. Like if you want to get top four, you need to be a little bit stinky and win these games when you're not playing that well. And Brentford have had a few very good chances recently. These are the ones that you need to win. If you're serious about winning, if you're serious about actually winning. Palmer's in the box. Neto. Oh, it's just a wild pass from Gusto. Way out wide. Sancho does well to keep it in. Now Brentford have the ball. Closing down. Very nice. It's a free kick to Brentford. They're going to get out here. This is rough, man. Why can't we win at Brentford? 2019 was the last time we won at Brentford. They've won 3 times at Stamford Bridge since then. They're not even that good, man. What is this? What was that team selection in the first half, honestly? Can we stop playing Nkunku up front, please? I'm just... It's crazy, bro. Wesley Fofana must be trying to beast back into Etienne paired with Saliba for 2 seasons. So sad. Yeah, we are a completely different team when he's playing. I feel so much more assured when he's in defense. I think he's very good. He's an excellent centre half, and he just commands the back line, unlike any of the other centre backs we have. Just can't stay fit, and that's a problem. That's a problem. At some point, you have to kind of maybe give up or just accept that he's going to be a Reece James character that drops in and out whenever he can, because you can't count on a player with this level of injuries at this age. It's mad. I think we basically need to go out and buy the core of a team. We need a new goalkeeper. We need a new centre half. The only position where we have some depth is midfield, but we need some wingers and we need a striker. There's 5 very, very important signings. Esteval, Andre Santos, and Petrovic could fill 3 of those positions, but we need then at least another 2 or 3. And we've got about 8 players that we should get rid of, both in the first team and around, plus not in the first team, plus not even on loan, just literally chilling. We've got a guy, Sar, he's earning 100 grand a week, hasn't even trained with the first team in 3 years, and he's not on loan, he's just sitting there. What's that? What's the point in that? Fumble here from Enzo, up towards Palmer. We're countering now. This would be so good if we could win, man. Palmer, Neto, Gusto with us. Disguised shot into a pass. Chalobah clears. Sanchez has the ball now. Up to toss in. 4 minutes to go, people, plus extra time, which there's probably not going to be that much. Gusto's giving it away. Come on, man. That's so bad. What a dead game, man. Honestly. This is so average. Crazy. Yellow card for Enzo. Late tackle. Still think one of the teams is going to nick this. 0-0's probably a fair result, to be honest. Neither team has really set the heather on fire. Brentford probably are more deserving of the 3 points than us, but they've not really been that great. They fluffed a few chances that they had. We've had a few good shots on target, saved. But apart from that, this has just been so average. First half was non-existent. Okay, come on now. We've got the ball. Sanchez, come on. Do something. Cucurella picks it up at left back position. Let's go. Brentford set up their low block. Here comes Palmer on the left. Closed down. Back to Cucurella into Enzo. Enzo takes a shot, and it's a shot on target, saved. Doesn't feel like it's going to happen today. We've got the cat on the lap and everything. Still haven't had the luck. To be fair, we've had some luck not conceding a goal, so I'll take it. Gusto to Sanchez. Sanchez kicks it up into the middle of the park. Oh, nice little play there from Jackson, and then he gives it away. Throw in. 88 minutes, 25 seconds gone. A win right now would be limbs. A loss would be soul crushing. Man, not even getting out of our half at the moment. Here's Jackson. That's better. He's making the run. Neto. Palmer. Out wide. Crossed in. Headed away. Oh, Enzo scuffs at a shot. 89 minutes, 45 seconds gone. We're about to find out how much extra time there is. Probably not a lot. Very likely this is going to be a 0-0. How long? 4 minutes extra time. 4 minutes, people. Here's Jackson. Lovely play. Enzo out to Sancho. Don't give it away, Sancho. Don't give it away. Lovely. Enzo. Shot blocked. Enzo's keen to score, man. He's trying really hard. Pedro Neto was way more explosive and direct at Wolves. Yep, agreed. He could dribble past players. since he came to Chelsea. I haven't seen anything relatable from him. Yep, he's had one or two very good games, and then apart from that, been very average. Don't know what's happened to him either. He wasn't cheap either. He really needs to push on and show something next season at least. Long ball from Sanchez up to Cucurella. It's a good one. Cucurella gets the ball into the corner flag. Gets the ball back, does he? No. Brentford just keeping the ball in their own corner here. Lovely play, Sancho. Into the box. Past Caicedo. Palmer. Wide. Come on. Come on, come on, come on. Neto crossed in. Here's Sancho in the box. Crossed in. Cleared. Cleared. Brentford can counter now. They're just holding it. 2 minutes to go. What an absolute dead rubber of a game. It's just really, really boring. 2 minutes to go. Come on. Oh, Caicedo almost wins it back. Brentford can attack here, man. This is dangerous. Uh-oh, 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 uh-oh. They're just holding the ball, man. What an absolutely nothing game. So we've got it back. Foul. Okay, so we've got 1 minute to hoof the ball forward. Sanchez is going to kick it as hard as he can up the pitch. This is going to be the last kick of the game. Last chance. All the way from our corner flag. Kicked up. Sancho picks it up. Enzo. Long ball up towards Neto. He can't get it. This is it. Last chance. Gusto out wide to Neto. Can they get one more cross? One more cross. Here's Gusto. He's in the box. Palmer shoots. Oh, it's over the bar. That was it, man. That was his chance. 10 games ago, he would have buried that. And this is going to be over. A 0-0 against Brentford. When Arsenal dropped points, when Aston Villa won, it's just not good enough. It's just not good enough. Did it take a deflection? No. It's a goal kick. That's probably it. Final score. Thanks for tuning in, people. Especially George. Good chats today. Had a lot of fun. Tune into another one. And man, that feels like a little bit like a loss. Anyway, catch you at the next one, people. Much love. Up the Chels. See you later.